Once again, we are practicing here about the 80 sentences about the present indefinite tense. Let's get start.
He bears his anger, he does not bear his anger. Does he bear his anger? Does he not bearing? Why does he bear anger? Why does he not bear anger? When does he bear anger? When does he not bear anger? Where does he bear anger? Where does he not bear his anger? He beats him. He does not beat him. Does he beat him? Does he not beat him? Why? When does he beat him? When does he not beat him? Why does he beat him? Why does he not beat him? Where does he beat him? Where does he not beat him? Whom does he beat him? Whom does he not beat him? How beat him? How does he beat him? How does he not beat him? How? Where does? When does he beat him? When does he not beat him? He becomes a doctor. He does not become a doctor. Does he become a doctor? Does he not become a doctor? Why does he become a doctor? Why does he not become a doctor? When does he become a doctor? When does he not become a doctor? Where does he become a doctor? Where does he not become a doctor? Who does he become a doctor? Who does he not become a doctor? How does he become a doctor? How does he not become a doctor? Whom does he become a doctor? Whom does he not become a doctor? He drinks water. He does not drink water. Does he drink water? Does he not drink water? Why does he drink water? Why does he not drink water? When does he drink water? When does he not drink water? Where does he drink water? Where does he not drink water? When does he drink water? When does he not drink water? Whom does he drink water? Whom does he not drink water? How does he drink water? How does he not drink water? Who does he drink water? Who does he not drink water? How many drink? How much drink water? How much not drink water? How he drives a car? He does not drive a car. Does he drive a car? Does he not drive a car? Why does he drive a car? Why does he not drive a car? Where does he drive a car? Where does he not drive a car? When does he drive a car? When does he not drive a car? Where does he drive a car? Where does he not drive a car? Why does he drive a car? Why does he not drive a car? Whom does he drive a car? Whom does he not drive a car? How does he drive a car? How does he not drive a car? Ha, who he buys a car? He does not buy a car. Does he buy a car? Does he not buy a car? He why does he buy a car? Why does he not buy a car? When does he buy a car? When does he not buy a car? Where does he buy a car? Where does he not buy a car? Whom does he buy a car? Whom does he not buy a car? How does he buy a car? How does he not buy a car? Thank you.
It's okay. Very nice.